Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, punters. Coming to you from Nashville, Superspeedway tonight for the Australian NASCAR Trucks eSeries. We're in the heart of country music, if you will. Matthew Danson has joined by tonight, and Dean obviously on the cameras as well. Round 2 of our playoff clash. What's tonight going to bring out, Danson?
Oof, it's definitely going to have some cars driving fast and racing hard. It looks like obviously quali is sort of under what am I trying to say? Going around as we speak, and certainly it appears though some boys put in some nice laps there. So all to play for as far as our playoff standings, which we'll no doubt pivot to in just a brief moment, but I think that's obviously going to be the underlying story that we continue to refer back to time and time again. You've already, of course, Brad Newman has already advanced with his victory, previously, and then you've got Holdsworth looking pretty good with his playoff points, as well as Riley and Josh obviously have pretty stout in terms of the points they've got, but it's only a small buffer over Coudet and Brandon Griffiths and Aaron Major and even Bradley Kent. It's all sort of to play for there. Just one's sort of tough result for Riley or Josh, and they're right back in the hornet's nest. So, and those other boys that are in the red there, they've proven, they've had some pretty solid results over the last few weeks. So they'll be coming strong through this round as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we got best of the rest. Jared Gilbert, let's not forget those guys. Jared Gilbert, Ron Barber, and Cameron Pennant. They're fighting for a best of the rest championship. As I'm sure we're about to roll through to our grid now, as qualifying has ended, and we've got.
Yeah, Ryan Barber will be feeling the pain of not being able to run tonight with a penalty, but
yeah, that's true. That's true.
A good return here from SRM as they lock out the front row. Ruben Phelps, P1. Lachlan Akuijo in P2 there. That's brilliant form from them. Obviously been out for a little while, but come back with a bang. Zachary Sears, he always shows his form whenever he does turn up. P3 with Jason Holdsworth also out of the Nitro stable in P4. And Josh Bicklemore, another Nitro racer in P5. David Lawler, he's been on the rise week on week, P6. Brad Newman, obviously doesn't need a win in this race per se, but I'm sure he'll be looking for one nonetheless, but starts out of the 7th position. Kude Dell, one of those challengers in the bottom 4 at the moment, but starts out of a very strong P8 with Aaron Borg, P9. Bradley Cairns, P10, Rookie of the Year candidate for sure, with Jamie Davis, P11, and Aaron Major running out the top 12.
Rolling through to the next page, we've got Jared Gilbert out of Project 36 is up there in 13th position. Aaron Dorman, our man, used to be in the commentary. Now he's focusing on uni studies and racing out of P14. Nigel Seal out there, the boss, he's out there having a crack. And Cameron Pamat starts on his outside. Marty Mitchell, the Kiwi, 651, he's out there. Brendan Griffith, 18th. Angus Lawford in 19th. And Brian Blundell running out the top 20. Mark Fluffy Grocott, he's back for another run tonight, 21st. Brad Wright, 22nd. Riley Curtis, not a good job for him in qualifying, considering he's in that playoff bubble, so he wants to just work away there. But Kevin Clark in 24th there.
Yeah, those positions from 19th on back, with Tom Pritchard rounding out the grid at 25th. 19th on back, didn't actually set a time, so Riley, wasn't able to put a time together. I'm sure he would have done some practice on that, but obviously things fell by the wayside. It happens. He'll be looking to rebound and make his way through the field. Obviously, his teammates, he's got a few at the front, so they've got a stout truck, no doubt. So I'd expect to see him back towards the front before this is all said and done. But Dave, I'll let you handle duties here for the green flag. Barry has it in the air.
2 East. We got Barry in there. We got SRM on the front row, about to take the green here, and we are underway here at Nashville Speedway in Tennessee, Memphis, somewhere like that. In Nashville, as a matter of fact, would you believe? But we're racing straight away, and we're almost 3 or 4 wide into turn 1 here. So boys are having at it. We're 3 wide. We've got Zach Sears right up the middle here in the 3-4-2.
Oh!
As Ruben goes around, he's going to save it, and we're going to bring out the first yellow. Did we all survive? There's maybe some afters, because there's a big pack there, but geez, that was intense for the first 2. Of course, I'm excited for the rest of the race, mate. Let's get it going. That's not good for SRM, but you could see them cold tyres. He's just trying to push too hard on that inside. He's got a tighter line to run off turn 2 there with Zach on his outside. Zach actually gets a little bit of a chest wiggle there too, and Ruben just thrown her in the bin there, unfortunately, but he will regather that and got some work to do.
He's going to do he's doing the first to last and then the last to first challenge, but looked like he kind of just bobbled a very little bit in the mid corner, just right here. Yeah, and as soon as there you go, as soon as that little bobble happens where it's just kind of changed, it felt like, or at least it looked like visually from here, that he just didn't feel like the truck was fully under him. And then, I'm sure you've felt it as well, Dave. It's a very it's hard to have confidence in the truck when it just doesn't even feel like it's under you at all. It doesn't feel like there's any grip in the track whatsoever. Those cold tyres are, sort of at play, and then you're kind of a little bit of a passenger to a large degree, and it seemed like that's what Ruben was struggling with. But he's obviously gathered it all up at the end of the day. He didn't get any damage. No one else, copped any of that as well. So no harm, no foul. Just gets to reset it as we've got our driver cam here, Cameron Pammett. He's got a solo, quenching his thirst there. That's right. He's not messing around there. You know that he's in for a solid night, but
unicorn, onesie on there or something going on.
No, I think that's a bit of an Audi type situation there. It seems like perhaps, but it must be cold in the Pammett household. But he's looking to.
He's given
He's going to heat things up for sure.
Fortunately, Carl's not here tonight. Normally we got the cam over the shoulder cam.
He's got a big lean there to the right, looks like. I don't know if that's a perspective situation, but just feeling the forces there coming off pit road. But he'll be looking to have a strong night, no doubt. A test dummy. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's embracing I'm assuming he's embracing his fortune lately. So he's had a few incidents throughout his last week or two, and he's embracing it, I suppose. So you can't beat him, you join him. But at the front, Zach Sears out front, the 342. So it didn't go too well for the SRM cars as they're returning tonight after a hiatus. They do sport some new sponsors, new colours, which is great to see. The more guys out here running, the better. That's the way we like it. So hopefully we see a few more appearances from those guys. But a quick look at our calendar. We're obviously at Nashville, and then one more round left, round of 8, which is Michigan. I was going to say Micklemore, Michigan, but then we move on to our championship race at Iowa, which is going to be intense because it's a short track and can be a pretty rough one too. So it'll throw us better in the works here. It's not going to be straightforward as you think.
I've heard whispers about Michigan. I'll touch on that in a moment. I'm not sure if we're about to... No, okay, pace car lights are off. But, yeah, obviously just looking at those colours as well. Just a reminder, we touched on it last week, of course, but for anyone who's just tuning in now, the more vibrant red are those that are in that current top 4. The ones that are in the more subdued red are, of course, the outside looking in. So those bottom 4 drivers at the moment. So keep a note of that. For any driver that you're following at home, your favourite driver that's in the playoff picture at the moment. But we've got Barry's preparing himself. Remind me about that Michigan situation there as well, Dave. But Barry's got his green flag in the air, and away goes Zachary. Gets a nice launch from the P1 position, left everyone napping really to a large degree, and you can see already people getting a little bit rowdy. Looked like the Holdsworth machine was already ducky low, trying to follow his teammate through on the bottom. They're going to try and do a bit of a train situation here on Lachlan, and then I think as well the Newman machine as well, just with the watching brief back there, also, and as well Aaron Borg looking pretty racy there. He likes to get amongst it for sure. And look at that, my favourite sight is the Project 36 trucks, line astern, all 3 of them. You got 3 in a row. That's right.
The Mighty Ducks, Project 36 Ducks.
It's a real testament to the practice they do, isn't it, Dave?
Definitely right. That's right, and they do run a fair bit of practice and officials. But that Nitro train that they ran on Lachlan has come to pass, and they did make that move. Now the one's going to run a train on him as well. So and not too far behind him is Borg.
Yeah, exactly. So just with his nose right up Brad's behind there as Aaron sits it very deep. Oh, there's going to be contact there. Not quite. They live to fight another day, but that was very close between those two. Big send, and you can do that at Nashville. It gets a little bit, your eyes get wide open. You think, here we go, I can send this, and it kind of just doesn't really have the grip, and you wash up a little bit. But fun little racetrack, this one. Well, not really little, but fun racetrack. It lends itself to some pretty good racing for sure, as we've got... I don't think Holdsworth will be really trying to challenge Micklemore here too much. I think he'll just be trying to save his stuff a little bit, you'd imagine, and just run with his teammate here. I'm sure he's confident in the speed of the Micklemore machine, and perhaps playing a long game, but probably apt to touch on. I mentioned that Michigan rumor that I was hearing, and it was in fact from the Holdsworth camp. Very confident the squad on the number 8 machine that Michigan will be a guaranteed victory for that truck.
Oh,
so
you heard it here
it's
first,
a massive call from 3 weeks out from the event that's going to be a guaranteed victory for the number 8 machine. So put that one in your calendar.
Let's get the early odds on that. See if you can pull up the early odds for the betting market on that one.
I had a look pre-race. It was offering about $150. So I don't know if the confidence was not really fully well placed, but nevertheless, he is confident in his prospects there, and that whole crew on the number 8 machine feel like they can get that one done. But we'll see. I have heard whispers, Dave, that there might be a in-race broadcast from both the 30 and the 10 machine for that one. So that could be an interesting state of affairs with both commentators in the cockpit. Yeah, exactly. But we'll see how we go.
Speaking of seeing how you go, we've got Ruben, who remember obviously had that spin on the first lap. He's working his way back to 12th, so definitely got some speed in that car as they put it on the front row. Lockie's coming back in, but we're on board with Lawler, who's right behind Lachlan O'Crio now. And those 36 cars are just working his way through, and Ruben on his time. Where's Riley?
Now, well, I was going to say, interesting one there. Curtis has had some trouble. He's a lap down, exactly. Now he's remember he's in that top 4, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's super comfortable. You've got Kude Dal currently in the 9th position, Aaron Major in the 11th. It's certainly not something that you'd be putting the queue in the rack, and that's a really big issue and a big storyline to follow. There is can Curtis get himself back into it? He's currently operating. His pace isn't too bad, but what do you think?
I'm sure he came in through the pit on that last caution. Has he?
Well, he couldn't got it. Surely he couldn't got a penalty, could he?
Twice. I feel like he's got a penalty from entering a closed pit, maybe, or something like that. Because
he's had to come around and serve it under. That seems very unusual. Yeah, something very weird has gone on. But he's for sure. What we know is he's a lap down, and he's even. Behind the whole field. So it's not just he's a lap down lead. He's kind of mixing it up in that pack. He's a lap down plus then some. He's lap down on everyone. So that's troublesome. Interesting picture of Brad there. Got the borrowed Jeff Gordon's race suit for that picture apparently. But not sure if that's true or not. If anyone's been on Brad's Wikipedia, just have a quick. Just have a quick look on that one, and I'm sure that's probably got a more up-to-date picture. He's very keen on updating his social profiles, is Brad Newman. So, just make sure you check that out for sure. I think he's working on a website, Dave. I've heard bradnewman.com.
So, interesting. So he's actually working on Josh Bickham at the moment as well. He's working on 31.com right now as he's just ranged up on the back of and he's trying to make a pass on Nitro car ahead.
That was quality from you there, Dave.
I've had my milk, mate. I'm ready to
go. Love that. That's always puts it in good stead. But I guess looking at speaking in good stead, check out those times from Zachary. He's just absolutely beating down these fellas at the moment. Consistently faster across everyone. The only one that's really sort of holding a torch anywhere near to Zachary's lap times would be Newman. But I say that, and then the last lap by, Zachary kind of fell back to earth a little bit. Did a time around about the same as the other boys, but before that, he's been around about a 10th quicker every single lap, and that's represented in that big lead that he's got, 2.5 seconds over second place. And Holdsworth has kind of marched out on Mickamore as well. We sort of not too long ago commented on the fact that Jason was just behind and following through on his teammate, and then in a blink of an eye he's pulled a second over Josh. So, and it seems like he's a little bit of a cork in the bottle of these two behind him. So I don't know if he's again trying to just kind of hold on to his stuff, pace things. But obviously, Dave, you know Josh quite well. What would be going through the mind of that young man right now?
Yeah, he's looked a little bit sideways there, but obviously looking after his gear. He's learnt from racing the car, to be honest, the other week. So
some off tracks. There's something happening on track, Dave. Just looked like an incident between Seidel and Dorman.
Nigel in the grass. That's not unheard of.
He does love the grass, but it looked like I think Dorman was a part of that, I believe, if the data is to be believed.
Yeah, that's a Project 36 truck there as well. So
yeah, there was.
I wonder if we can get a quick look at that. But as we go back to replay now, so jumping on the backside of Cairns here, and Nigel is just going to get loose out of 4, the classic dreaded looseness, and he
he just got that little bump.
Yeah, it was a bit of an odd one, but
must have been Angus Lawford.
Yeah, kept the record clean though. That's in the grass every race. I think I've seen Nigel.
Yes. Well, he's got the moo cow scheme, so it does make sense.
Mate,
but
he's after some feed.
Yes, that's right. He's got to feed him somehow. But yeah, my apologies. I saw the A on the name, and then quickly trying to marry up the columns. So apologies, Aaron Dormant. It was actually Angus Lawford. So your Project 36 fans, that's one of your boys struggling a little bit there. Just unfortunately coming upon Nigel in the spot of bother, but. And in fact, I think he maybe, indeed, he's in the pits at the moment. So that might be day done for the 69 machine. It's
doors, mate. And speaking of early doors, we've got Blake Clute. He taught me how to say it last week, but we got Blake.
I was going to say, easy for you to say, Dave.
Good a tray. Clute Dale getting his first top 5, I feel, tonight.
Ooh.
Something like that.
They're currently in the 11th, I think it was, wasn't he? Yeah, he's currently 11th.
Oh, he's sporting a new paint too. He's got a spec map loaded.
Oh, love that.
Look out.
Yeah, get those textures. That's good. P1, he says on the hood there. Goodness me, that's a statement.
Yeah, we'll put that in the Holdsworth category.
That's true.
Ruben Phelps on the inside. He's out there tight.
Jeepers.
He's not giving him room. This track, obviously, you can see concrete too, by the way. It's not a tarmac, it's a concrete track, this one.
Good call. Ruben is coming, as you said. He's come on, just clear yourself on that one, Ruben. But contact!
Clear, not clear.
I think he's still got around.
The fence.
He has copped a bit of the fence there.
That'll be hard on the body there.
He might be Dunyons. I think it looks like it's wobbling around. It might be broken steering or something. Or it's still just the tyres are on fire. He was right out sideways. It would have been... hopefully he doesn't take it out on this... the Griffiths machine, I think it is. But obviously... looked like... I mean, I don't know if the... who was that on the outside of him? Was that Lawler, I think it was? Or Gilbert? I don't think they necessarily did anything wrong there. Just the two trucks just sort of came together and then...
that's right. It's a real odd exit. It really tightens up on that exit. Just the way the track is shaped, and you saw what happened with Nigel trying to put a bit more extra lock on it, but it really tightens up, and that wall comes up really quick on that exit if you're not careful. As Kute we ride back on board, he's going to have a crack at Gilbert here as he gets nice. Up there. It could be the same thing. See how it just tightens up right up there from 237. He's got to duck back down. So yeah, it's an odd little corner, and it's hard to make that pass.
These are two playoff drivers, of course.
Yeah, that's major in the 105 on the inside of the 51.
Keep it out of the wall. Yep, nice. Yeah, it's Gilbert's like a Venus flytrap for people that arrive upon him at the moment. They look like they've got a bit of a run, send it down the inside, and next thing you know they're right out sideways. So just got to be a bit mindful of that. Run that high line nicely is Gilbert.
Ray Wide Racing on board for the 105 machine.
Branching out to Nashville from their Australia-wide, Yeah, I'll see myself out.
There.
Jeepers creepers. Anywho.
Matt. He's running on the top line.
Oh, Dave, FYI, I've got just a quick update in the chat, in fact, to... We'll deviate from my my horrible pun, but Luke Trahere, massive Dave Douglas fan. He said, "Big DD on the comms, let's go." So
there we go. Night call.
Yep, he's up for
night call racing. Be nice to see him back out here. Get the night call 43 back out here. But old Sailor Sally, have to save it for another time, I'd say. But shout out Luke Trahere, OG Bandit.
I think I remember that from when I was more so on the sidelines of another series that you were running in, Dave. He was one of those in the crew with yourself and and a seasoned veteran of Michael Skurlock. I'm pretty sure he was part of that fraternity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Back in the BMX Bandits days, mate. Lukey had some rivalries. It was always fun, especially with Aaron Dillon.
Oh, now don't look now, David. But he may have said Michigan was the race he was going to win. But let's look at P2 there. Look at that time. Look at that time between the gap between first and second. It's just over a second. Just over a second. He is absolutely charging. This is unheard of. I mean, to be fair, Mickamore last lap by was actually the quicker of the top, and again that time by as well, quicker of the top. Well, the whole field. In fact, at 30.9. Your leader had a 31.3. Goodness gracious me, he's in all sorts.
We got a bit of a race going on back here, so we got QT
yes, right.
trying to make this move on the 105 here. Though, remembering these guys are in the playoffs, so this is a championship move here. They've still got the 36 cars in front of them, but QT's just trying to get that clear. He just can't get quite in there deep enough and make that pass. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that the 31 is starting to come back at those guys, because we saw him back right out of it and save his gear. And,
Dave, I'll run down to the pit road and I'll see if I can get a bit of insight into what's going on. Just I'll let you run things for a moment. I'll see what I can find out.
Yeah, certainly, mate. No worries. Righto, while he's gone, let's never mind. Better not do that. But yeah, so far so good. We've only had that first caution tonight. This is a little this is a juicy little battle pack here. As Aaron May just trying to move forward as well. He's getting that pressure from behind from Kute. He's on some pressure on Aaron and Gilbert. Just ahead of him, Jared Gilbert, I could say, not Aaron Gilbert. Jared Gilbert just ahead, and he's got his teammate ahead of him. He's just trying to sneak the nose in there. Can't quite get in there this time by, but definitely closing up this battle for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. You can see Lawler just using the apron down there. You can use that, but as is this end, now he's got to try and get it pulled up and then get the drive out, which he's done very nicely through there. Is he going to be able to hold it? It's going to be a bit of momentum on the top, but he's going to have the side-by-side into turn 3 here, which may help him this time. He's actually there, so 337, he may be able to run him tight as we watch this battle unfold. He's going to get momentum as long as he holds it out there, gets tight on the exit as per our conversation earlier. And there's Weiss is still side-by-side for 10th position here. He's going to have another dip down into 1. He may just get that cleared. He gets cleared and he just slips back in front of him. He gets a little hell yeah on the back bumper for his trouble. Ooh, that's tight off the exit. And he's got the pass done. That was good driving all around. He did have to send it in there pretty deep, use a bit of slider action there, and Gilbert sort of just give the bumper a little swipe as Kute goes to work now on him. So these guys are coming to work through this field here.
Dave, I'm just on pit road, and I've been down to the 342, the Sears camp, and in fact I've spoken to the crew chief, and he has mentioned that the car is quite tight at the moment. Sorry, you can hear the field going by as I say that, but the car is extremely, or the truck is extremely tight condition. He's not able to get the most out of it at the moment. So that's what's happening from the 342.
There you go, folks. So you heard it here first, straight from the horse's mouth, from pit road. You can hear the cars in the background. That is commitment. He was down there, the boys. He's down there. So here goes the pass for the lead. The 8, I don't think he's going to be able to too much fight from the 342 here. The 8's going to get this one done pretty easily through here, I'd say, and it'll be clear off turn 4. New race leader, Jason Holt.
Just ran up to the booth, and yes, indeed, there was a pass for the lead. That was huge, and that tight condition for the 342 will be impacting his ability to fight back, no doubt. But you can see an angry pack behind making their way forward too. Mickelmore, Newman. I mentioned that Mickelmore has been really fast. I'm sure, obviously, I haven't been able to see the times while I was on the sprint back and forth between the pit road, but I would assume, yeah, there we go, 31.4. Obviously, making that pass. That will kind of, we'll see that even out here probably this next lap or so, but that's going to be a really interesting one to watch is what's that pace like on the 31 machine as he kept something in the bank there over the 8 in particular. last time by, a 31.23 for the 8 truck and a 31.24 for the 31 truck. So advantaged the 8 on that lap. Newman was just fractionally slower than that, and then a couple tenths actually to Sears. So the another one to watch though, as I say that, is I don't know which race it was, Dave, that this happened as well. Jamie Davis, currently in the P6 position, a tenth a lap quicker than our race leader for the last few laps. He's been consistently doing 31.1s. There he is, the young man. Now I can't recall exactly which race this was. It was within the last couple. He was absolutely flying on the long run, so he's doing something right. And look, you can see how smooth that is.
Yeah, the screen. I'm sorry to cut over there, but Josh just looks like he's making a pass on Zach Sears now as well.
Great call. No, we've got to jump ahead for those for sure. Look at that. He's got the speed. He has to get this done. Oh.
He's not making it easy, is he?
No, he's not making it easy at all.
He's not just going to give it to him.
He's got a bit of a handshake agreement with the Holdsworth truck, you would assume there. He's not making it easy for his other teammate, that's for sure. But
right.
Looks like...
Remember, these cars are in... they're in the same team, out of the same stable, but they're racing for themselves as well. So, just like the real world, Joe Gibbs racing here, number 11. He don't care about the number 18 or the whatever other team he's got these days. He wants to win for the 11 team.
I love the pause. That was good. Now we got some more. Yeah, we got some more comments in the chat. A bit of love for Sim Boys. Luke Trahere said he'll be back. Don't worry about it. But X Doggy X, I remember seeing him not too long ago. But he said, "I'm surprised DD's up after Queensland lost." Tell us about that one, Dave.
Just chill, you idiots. You all got work in the morning. That's all I've got to say about that, mate.
I
There's
think
a car down pit road. That's Queen Joe.
It's Lachlan. Aaron Borg's making a bit of a charge as well. Actually, no, I say it other way around. It's that's my boy Jamie making a pass. He's still on the charge. So even with that move, that cost him a bit of time just in making the overtake. But he's still been churning out the lap time. So if Jamie can keep doing that, how far off is he? He's still 5 seconds off. So it's gonna be tough because obviously you've got pit stops coming up soon. But any indent he can make on that will be very advantageous. And then, whoa! Oh goodness gracious me! We got a bit of door banging there between the P3 and P4 trucks of Newman and Sears. It's never one to be far from the action is Brad Newman, that's for sure. Gets that move done in the end.
Just to cover off that Lockie Urquio stop too, so he is committed basically a two-stopper here. So if you divide that up by 44, he stopped lap 44, so what it was, that's 3 stops, 3 stints. So a two-stopper race here. So makes you wonder if these guys close to pitting. I don't believe they would be. I think they'd still be able to get a fair few laps, fairly deep into this. But the trigger's being pulled by the 42, and tell you what, this is all good news for Aaron Major and QT Dahl, especially with Riley Curtis down there 1 lap down. It's interesting, those guys say they're in the playoffs, but everyone's up there in that almost in the top 12 apart from Riley. So really bad luck for Riley there, and that's going to hurt.
Yeah, he needs yellow or something to save him at this point in time, but Bradley Cairns making the move there and getting himself up into the 10th position, that is. But it's a nice run for Bradley for sure. But Major and Dahl are definitely having great runs as well, and their lap times are really impressive. I mean, that both of those were faster than the leader last time by, and even the lap before that as well. So they've got some nice long run pace, and that time by, once again, both of them quicker than the leader, a 10th quicker than the leader, in fact. So they're doing really good lap times. Kude did a 31.1 the previous lap. He did a 31.2 that time by, and just barely. It was a 2.0. But your leader is doing threes, and I'll tell you the top 5. In fact, 3 of them did a 3, one of them did a 4, and the other one did a 5. That was Zachary, who's obviously feeling some pain in his truck. But the speed on the major and the dial machine is really impressive. You can see that on your tower now. It's just what they need is just to find a little bit more, find that balance a little bit more early in the run, because they're doing something right to keep the pace in the truck long run. They've just got to try and find that balance to eke a little bit more out early as well, without sacrificing the mid to late run too bad.
Yeah, to cover off my cover off of Lachlan Oakby taking 3 stops, he's still in the pit, so I'd say he's even up. Right. So,
wonder if he got a penalty on that initial entry there, Dave, perhaps. And
that's an option.
Yeah, and then he's just said, you know what, that's not for me. It's lower your eyes to the bottom right of the screen. You can see that delightful subscribe and like icon. Timely reminder to make sure you do exactly that. Don't miss out on any of this racing action, whether it's Tuesdays, Thursdays, or even Sundays. It's quality. Yeah, that's right. Every day that ends in white is always race day. That's true.
Yeah, the thing that's going to work against Riley here is the leaders were too far from catching that traffic here. I can see Grocot's 28 seconds off the lead, so he's going to be about 4 seconds ahead of Jason here. So once they start getting into that traffic, that's Riley Curtis's race almost done, because it's going to be hard to come back from there if it stays green. Especially, he needs that yellow sooner than later. As he puts a move on Marty Mitchell there. Yeah, run straight. Bradley Cairns on board. Working away with, he's got Jared Gilbert just ahead of him. Major's knocking on the door with Davis. He's going with him here, so is Kute as well. Probably not as quick, but Major's definitely going with Davis as the...
yeah, Major's flying, Dave.
Off. Yeah.
He is flying. He's consistently faster than the leaders. It's this is one to put in the favourites folder, on the YouTube when he watches this back later for sure, because this is really impressive speed at this point of the run. Consistently, let's see this time by. Jason's done a 4.1. Let's see. Aaron Major does a 3.9. So, 200's that time, but before that he's been doing about a tenth a lap. Davis as well is still fractionally faster than your leaders in the P5 position, but goodness, I don't know exactly, Dave. I don't know if you've got the call on exactly how long the fuel run is at this one. Didn't get a chance to have that chat with the crew chiefs myself.
Well, here we
go.
Road.
There we go. That could tell a tale.
It'd be close, I reckon. It's not too far away. Maybe within 10 laps. He might be just pulling trigger early to try and get a little bit of undercut favour there. But
yeah, I don't mind that call, because he was struggling. He'd fallen near enough to 4 seconds off the leader, even though he was the leader for a considerable amount of time. So he was on the struggle bus. It's you got to make a call, do something a bit different, and I'm sure if he just throttles that back a little bit, he'll be able to be stronger on that long run. Although now he's going to have that offset, but if he can just really be a bit more patient with it, you never know what can happen for sure. But Bradley Cairns currently P9, started P10, just been very solid. Got behind the scenes here, we've got Ruben, our pole sitter. He's in the pits. Blundell as well, and Marty Mitchell all in the pits right now.
Kind of tells me they're probably within sort of 5
Oh yeah,
10 laps in that window there, I'd say.
Has to be, and I really wonder. You mentioned about Lachlan's initial strat we assume he had a penalty or something has sort of thrown him astray, but I feel like that was the right call coming around about that time. If I'm surprised more people didn't. If they couldn't make it on the one stop, you've got to come surely.
Yeah, you're right.
There is limited tyre sets though, of course, in the pits, which does tend to sway decisions, because you don't want to come down, get the fresh tyres, and then next thing you know, yellow flags out, and you've wasted the tyres and you're trapped. Obviously, having giving up a whole bunch of time. But our leader looks to be making their way down to the pit road. There he is indeed. So he said, that's enough for me.
Pulled up on the marks.
Yep.
Ideal.
Look at this
Sort of
Kurt Adele.
Let's take the lead here. Is he going to come in? It's a hard pit road to get down to. So, speaking of getting down, is the 651 of Marty Mitchell in the grass, doing some grass corners there, which...
He'd just been on pit road, Dave, not long before that, so he's got the fresh tyres, and we saw with Ruben on lap 1 how difficult it can be.
That's those cold tyres, so yeah, if you're any of these guys, you want to tend to stay out as long as you can, because anything can happen through these green flag pit stop cycles, which is a bit of my rule. I like to keep myself out there just to pick up any scrap, because I can tell you if I pit, they're bringing a yellow out for sure.
You've got a couple of good rules, Dave, that usually tend to ring true, I've noticed. So it's certainly good advice to follow.
Yep, like, subscribe.
So lap 60. So if Holdsworth's pit surely there's no way they can make it to 70. I would assume he's thinking to try and overcome. He's trying to sort of take there you go. He's trying to sort of take into account that the 3-4-2 machine at pit maybe sort of cover him off a little bit. But here comes Micklemore. Interesting to see how long rest can go.
65's the cut off. I'm going to say that's my Nostradamus. It's my maths just said nothing.
Now what if? Never mind.
Brad comes.
Erie's, yep. He's getting it woed up.
And he's in pit lane as well.
Well, he was running a train on, who was that, Lachlan, I think, earlier, so...
He certainly was. He was, mate. You're the bloody controller too, I reckon. All aboard. All aboard the Nitro train. There it is. There it goes, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, exactly. Never ending. Oh, dearie me. Yep. So they're getting after it. We've got Aaron Major in the pit lane.
Good stint, Aaron. Well done.
Yeah, that's worth a round of applause as well. Kudedale in the pits as well, and again a round of applause for him. He's aiming for P1, of course, as listed on the bonnet there, but he certainly made a good charge towards that goal. Jamie Davis. Oh, imagine if he'd just been clutching the whole time. He's had that good long run speed. Imagine if he's just got 6 more laps of fuel in that thing. Oh, that would be tasty, wouldn't it, Dave?
Yes, it would definitely. But yeah, as you said, that did deserve a round of applause. So we'll play that.
Very nice, very nice. Very nice. We've got Gilbert in and Bradley Cairns.
Oh, he's had a right hook there. I thought he was going to get loose on his way in there. He's given it a fair full of right arm.
Yeah, Jared's not going to be foul of the too many pit boxes rule, that's for sure. Jamie Davis goes another one. Ooh, this is huge.
I like it.
This is huge.
Be the hunter. He becomes the hunter.
I like this a lot, especially if he catches a lucky yellow, that would just be golden, of course. But how many more does he have in him? He looks like he's slowing there. I think that seemed slower than usual. No. Yep, I was right. My eyes didn't deceive me.
65.
Hold on to it. That was beautiful.
So question is now, what do they do on this next step?
Ooh.
You got to cut that in half, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Griffiths or Davis at this point, I think.
Oh, you run that dry.
I think you just run that dry again and just hope for, because you can go longer than everyone. They're going to be stopping. I think most of the front runners are going to, at some point in time, someone's going to blink, and then the other ones have to come down as well. These boys will have the benefit of being able to just keep rolling around right up to the end. I mean, look at this. He's so close.
Yeah, you're right. He's close. And then you never know what's going to happen. There could be a yellow in a lap and a half.
Exactly, and that's exactly right. So this is, I mean, there's every chance he could catch this. I wonder if he's, he looks like he's still saving, obviously, a lot. Of course, there's the tyre difference between them, but... And here's another one that's done a lot of saving as well, is Aaron. You can see him, I think that's him clutching, or it's him maybe on the radio saying, hey, I'm coming down pit road now. I think that's exactly what it was. And in he comes indeed. But yeah, these boys, they have to just run it dry. They have to run it dry because that's going to have them in good stead on this other side of things, especially when these other guys pit. But look, Holdsworth is only 10 seconds off Griffiths here as it stands anyway. It's
yeah, that's right. So at this point,
yeah.
you gotta just run a drive.
Yep.
I
mean, he's almost at 70. He's not far off 70, Dave.
Yeah, he's close. He's close. And I've seen fuel save and races won while single stopping it here. So if he can make that work,
here he is. So he's at the end of 68. So that's bloody close. Although having said that, let's remember, Dave, that there was the yellow early. Yeah. Now, I don't have the data here to confirm, but I believe he may have pit on that one.
No, it's only showing one pit stop for mine.
Only one pit stop? Oh, nice one. Good. Oh, but he's in pit lane now, so I don't think it would show the the second one yet. But anyway, nevertheless. Oh, goodness. Oh, that could be a real storyline if it stays green for a while, but then these leaders pit.
He's out now, so yeah, that was a long stop too. So that was a 30-second stop. He's had some sort of issue down there with Griffiths, I believe.
Really?
30.5 seconds that was in his pit stop. So something's going on there for him, unfortunately, as he's on his way out now.
What has happened there? I wonder if he's had something deselected. And then the pit crew they've inadvertently forgot to put the tyres on it first, and he said, hang on a second, boys, we need those. And then they've had to do the whole service all over again.
He's sideways. He's a little bit sideways there on those cold tyres. Yeah, it's an odd one, definitely. I can tell you, Lachlan Equijo's back out on the track, though. So his last stop was 6 minutes and 53 seconds, so...
Goodness me, that's a bizarre one, isn't it?
That and got it all repaired or whatever happened there. I think it had a misfire. They had a gasket in the intake, so they got that cleared, and he's out there again, firing on all for 8 cylinders.
I'm glad they got it sorted out, but that's he'll be banging the desk on that one. That's very frustrating. Riley, we're on board with him now. He's had an absolute nightmare. He's on the charge back, though. He has a bit fresher tyres than these boys at the moment. He stopped a bit later. He'll be hoping that he can just make a bit of ground here and perhaps get himself. I mean, he needs to get ahead of Holdsworth here because he's 2 laps down now. This is. I
feel like it could have worked for him too, alright, because he did take that early stop. He popped up. I mean, they ran 2 corners before they got the yellow, so it wouldn't have been much, but they did top up. So, I think that's probably the play he was going for. But something's happened in that pit cycle, as in he's either sped or he's entered a close pit, exited a close pit. Who knows? But something's on there and dropped him.
Yeah, weird one for sure. Especially if it gave him an absolute, an actual like pass through from that point forward. That would be very odd. But nevertheless, as it shakes out, everyone's been down pit road now, and Holdsworth has a bigger lead than he did before. That's for sure. 2.5 seconds over Sears, who did stop earlier. Remember, so Holdsworth does have the pace advantage at the current moment. Mickelmore in third, stopped that fraction after Holdsworth and has been quicker. They're very close on exit, Dave. Good call. So Mickelmore and Newman and co, they are faster. They're gaining at the moment, but will it be enough? And when does this second pit stop come? Is the other question mark.
Yeah, right. Good point you made, mate.
Thanks. Now, obviously,
busy checking out the chat. Sorry.
Davis and Dal are getting stuck into it here. Obviously, having had their pit stops a bit later on, although I believe Davis had his on 65, Dahl on 62. So Davis has the upper hand here and should get on the march a little bit. Let's see what's his pace like once he can get around Kudate. Because again, he had that really strong long run pace. Obviously, at the moment, even as he's trying to make his way through, has been a little bit faster than Holdsworth in the lead, but he's got a massive deficit to make up. Currently in the order of 16.5 seconds off. So if he can just keep chipping away at that, 0.2 a lap here and there, before you know it, that will be considerably less. But then he's got to make the call on, what does he do for that second stop? This hopefully, theoretically, this run here, he should be able to make some oh goodness me, some big dividends. 16 seconds looks not great at the moment. But you would expect, I think he was around about 5 seconds off the lead when the pit stop started. You would hope that once this is all said and done, that he can get that back below that 5 second mark.
Yeah, that's right. But he's got to drive it the same way. He can't overdrive it here. He can't fall into the trap of, 16 seconds. I've got to make that up right now. Mm-hmm. He's just got to drive it the same way he did that first stint. As you can see, someone way up the track up ahead. But this is going to be an interesting stint because it can go either way here. You can run long and have a short stint home, or you can run short and have a long run home. It depends on how these guys are going to play it here. So it might just mix up the order a little bit here, and then we'll see how it all takes out at the end. But it's a good little mix here.
And now I wouldn't be surprised as well to see we've got a few drivers that I think would be takers on doing something a little bit out of the ordinary. We know that the number one truck of Newman loves to do something a bit abstract, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him cut this in half for this run. And I also wouldn't be surprised to see the same from Sears. Given he had fallen off a cliff towards the end of that first run, it would be in his best interest to try and short pit this second run and force the hand of those other leaders around him. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say, and then you've got the likes of Aaron Ball, Jamie Davis in, Zach Sears, throw him in there, Ruben Phelps. They may just elect to stay out. They may just run it till it's dry and hope for a caution. If it doesn't come, who cares? They don't win the race. They're only going to finish 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th anyway. So they may just run the gauntlet and roll out there, and they might just run a fuel, but they've got nothing to lose. They've got to go for the win.
Yeah, spot on. It's a difficult position for Holdsworth in the lead because who do you cover? Do you cover the guys that are going to try and stay out and catch the caution? If you then don't get a caution, or you're completely on an island and those other boys that did do the short pit are going to be way in the distance and you don't have time to catch them. But if you short pit and the dudes that stay out catch a lucky yellow, well then, spewing. You've used a set of tyres and you've given up all your track position as well. So it's almost prefer to be back in the field a little bit for a decision like this. I prefer to be around the Mickelmore sort of Newman sort of phase rather than being the leader, because if you're the leader, you've got everything to lose and nothing more to gain than what you already have in your pocket.
Yeah, that's right. And it's interesting that Carl's not here tonight. He was in the purple patch. We've got 31 up on the inside of the 33 4-2, I should say. Zach Sears making the pass as Zach just runs up right up to the edge of the track there.
Yeah, his truck is still really tight. We heard that in that first run. I got a chance to speak to the crew chief on that machine. It's definitely very much on the tight side. The tyres looked very worse for wear when they came off that truck. He obviously short pit to try and stem that flow of pain that he was feeling. But now, of course, other things, he's now got the weaker tyres. And we see, here we go, the very vibrant colours of Brad Newman. He's already advanced the next round. He is happy days for the final four, but he still wants more. His last lap time, fastest of all of these guys up front.
We haven't spoken too much about I haven't speaking too much about Brad Newman tonight, but as you mentioned, he has the win and he is advanced to the next or advanced to the final round. So tonight he can be a little bit loosey-goosey, mate, and throw a bit of caution to the wind here. He's sort of just there or thereabouts, as you can see at the top there. One win and you're in, which is the ADV Advance.
Yeah, that's and that's an interesting one, seeing that, because of course having the context of Riley Curtis's troubles. So he had I think it was a 10-point advantage I saw on that briefly over the next trucks on from him. As it stands, there's a 12 position difference between himself and Kude Dal. So that would be enough to really bridge that entire gap. So he's and then Major is up even further ahead of P5. What a run for Major. That's fantastic. And then obviously we've also got Cairns as well in the P9 position. So it's
yes, certainly, and that's the sort of thing Major needed too. Sitting 7th in that playoffs order, he needed to have a good night and get himself instead to take it to the skies in the next race.
Exactly. I'm still really stoked on this run from Davis as well. He's now 13.5 seconds off the leader. Look at these Project 36 trucks really attacking here with Aaron Borg as well. So there's a lot of speed there. That's Griffiths, I believe, right? In the he's making his way through. Indeed, it is. Yeah. So that one's not for position, but he's got a massive head of steam because he stayed out. He did a lot of saving. He's hoping for more on the back end of this. In fact, let me see if I can find Brandon Griffiths' last few lap times. He's doing high 30s, so he's still trying to save, it would seem, but he's getting a couple of tenths every lap on the leaders.
Yeah, Borg. He's just see this battle with Borg resuming here. Aaron Borg's in for surely a change of luck as well. He hasn't had the best couple of races recently. He's been sort of wrecked out a few of them with a bunch of other guys. But tonight, hopefully, that fortune better him and he can have a solid result.
Now, Sam Smith in the chat, he asked, what does LOB stand for?
It's a great question.
I think it stands for lots of bad sends.
Lots of bad sends. Oops, there you have it.
you can make whatever you like out of that combo, I think.
Well, maybe you might have to put it to Newman, and if he gets in the room tonight when you do your interview with Anson, you might have to put the hard word on him, mate, and just find out what LOBS actually stands for.
It's very true. He is known to be a man of many words, of course. Loves a chat in the post-race.
Run down to the pit, mate, and find that out for us, will you?
I'll try to get down there as soon as I can, but in the meantime, we did see that Davis has been able to get around now. He does have the 3-lap fresher tyres than Borg. I hope you touched on this earlier, Dave, but just with Davis there, he's got to make sure he doesn't overdrive, doesn't get too excited. I think he's doing a pretty good job at the moment. It didn't help him, that sort of little skirmish with Borg. He wasn't able to keep that kind of charge that he's had more recently going, but he's back on the bike now. So low 13 seconds off the race lead. As far as our leading bunch, Mickelmore and Newman still taking a tenth of a second per lap out of the leader. That lead is now down to 3.7 seconds, 4.4 over the P3 truck. Zachary Sears in fourth is falling like a what's the saying? Cinder block in a 2-foot creek or something. What is it?
Sounds good. I mean, it didn't do a bit of debris out there. It might be yellow, but
I saw that.
Jason,
yeah.
Something went flying across the screen there.
The tyre rubber, I think, just being flicked out.
Yeah, a couple of miles.
Yep. It's probably Jason churning through his right front. But he's done a good job of it tonight. But he kept the pace under the truck. He said that Michigan was going to be the race. But, up the top there.
The car on the C lane at the top there. So he's flicking up all the pickup and rubber. I'm not sure who it is, but
just spraying all the fans, all the supporters out there in the stands. Just copped some debris, but some shrapnel. But nevertheless, it's kind of leveled out between Holdsworth and Mickelmore. Although, as I say that, he's just kind of took a little bit more. There's just as having a look at some fan mail. We are getting some letters sort of sent to us through the more traditional means. We obviously don't normally we prefer the comments in the YouTube chat. We greatly appreciate those for sure. But just got some sent here to our GPO box. So thank you for that. But I'll just open some of those. I've got one here from Sam Smith. He says, "Hello, regular viewer. Love watching you boys. Commentary tonight, as always, is top notch. You two have spot on timing and chemistry. Pretty much the entire race, sitting with a smile on my face as you rabble on. Very enjoyable." Well, thank you. Obviously, you probably said that letter a little while ago. So if you're watching tonight as well, Sam, appreciate that.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yep. We appreciate all feedback, no matter which medium.
We try, mate. We try to keep it entertaining. Hopefully we do a good job of it. And we're all for the people, mate. We're all about the people.
That's right. It's I know you've got a big following, Dave, on the side. Lots of supporters for Dave Douglas. Now, Brandon Griffiths is he in the pit lane? I think he's in the pit lane.
You've got him live on screen. Punters at home can see him rolling down the pit lane as he transitions into his box, and he's going to get it. Oh, he's overshot.
He's missed it again.
Yeah, he did just a small overshoot there, unfortunately for Brendan.
What's going on with that, Dave? Because he was the one that stayed out right to the very end, if you recall. And then he had that 30-second stop you mentioned. What has happened here?
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe he's sort of 30-second stops just put him on the back foot. So he said, I'm just going to try something different and I'll do a footy lap run home just for the sake of it.
That's that's really unfortunate because that was looking like a really interesting strategy, really curtailed by that, by the stop being double length. Here we go, Zachary Sears. Now this is gonna. Here we go. This is what we want. This is gonna throw a real curveball because what does Holdsworth do? What does Mickelmore do?
Yeah,
Mickelmore's pace has fallen off as well from Holdsworth, so Holdsworth's doing really well. But what on earth do they do?
Does he react to the 3-4-2? Right now he stays out. I think. Well, at the moment you've got a time deficit, so you might as well run a couple more laps. Even if you only get 5 more laps, you use that little time up your sleeve, and then that way you've still got a bit of a tyre delta on them. Great
call. Yeah, that advantage that he's got, the 4 seconds over Mickelmore, and then obviously everyone else from that point. That definitely gives him some room to play with, where he can wait and see who else is staying out, and he'll be buoyed as well by the fact that he was able to gain so much ground on those guys that did stay out in the previous run, to where he was not too far off them anyway, from where it was. So, it's all to play for. We've got a couple of extra comments in the chat. S-Man21 Freo.
Brad Newman.
I expect Newman to pit around lap 98 to 105. Well, he's in right now, 102. That was a pretty good guess. I mean, he gave himself a massive window there, but nevertheless,
that's true.
You were correct, nonetheless. Yeah, that's right. Trevor Mickelmore said Newman will pit on 110. What will the rest do? Who knows? Great call, by the way. Thank you, Trev. It's Newman shortcut you a little bit, but look, here comes his boy, Joshy. He's in the pit.
Yeah, we've heard Trev's been very vocal about the 31 recently. He can be, because he brought him into this world. He can probably take him out of as well, but he's allowed to be harsh. He's his biggest credit. Because we've got a slow car up the top here who's going to come down in the pit. Is he going to get this pulled up? He's coming nice and hot. He made the most of that.
Now what we want is some of these boys to stay out. Davis, Dahl.
Yeah, Kute,
these are the ones. Definitely. Now, why was Davis 15 seconds off the lead? What's happened there?
15 seconds. Let's go find Davis.
Oh, he's in the pit lane. That's why. What's going on? No. Why are you pitting? Oh, I don't love this call from Davis. We've got Borg still out there. We've got Dahl still out there. We've got Cairns still out there, and Lawford. I'm loving that from them. You've got to have a crack. You've got to do something. Don't just do what everyone else does just because they've pit on lap 100. Don't do that. I think.
Hopefully those boys do just run that and try and gain something. Like they're not going to lose too much. So we'll get it back. Kute comes into pit lane as we're speaking.
I mean, I do understand it to a certain degree from Kute. Yeah, Kansas our boy and Borg, but I do understand it to a certain degree from Kute and so on, because obviously they're in that playoff picture. They want to try and not shoot themselves in the foot. But I just think you would have been better off having a bit of an offset and doing something different. Certainly, if you're Davis in the
absolutely,
in the 192, he's not in a playoff situation. He's just out there just going for wins. If he doesn't win, well then so be it. But he had a real shot of making something outrageous there. But of course that depends on a yellow. If there's no yellow, well then he would have still had to come for a splash and go at the end anyway. But I'm glad that Borg is trying to do something different. I'm glad that Kansas is doing something a bit different, because someone's got to go from outside the box here.
Yeah, I think for them, as Bradley looks like he's pulling this thing. No, he's going to keep going. But their window, I suppose you could come in from 10 to 15. Like, you want to give yourself enough time to get back through the field. You can't leave it too late unless you're showing for the gauntlet. So 152 comes down pit road. You want to give yourself probably minimum 25 laps to try and use that that tire delta to come back through the field. You can't leave it too late, otherwise you're not going to give yourself enough time to get back through.
And the funny thing is, those ones that stayed out longer, Dorman, of course, one of the drivers that really ran it long, similar with Griffiths on that first run. So he's still up in the top 5 currently, but of course a bunch of trucks nearby to him that are going to be blasting past. But it's, I mean, they only pit 40-something laps ago. Griffiths was the last one to pit on 68. So it's a weird one. But
so this is a change in position here too. So Brad Newman stopped after Sears. He stopped on 101. Sears was 99. So he's actually made time.
He has made time.
He's now ahead, so that's a gain.
And Newman's only he's only 2 seconds behind Oldsworth, with albeit 2 laps older tyres, because Holdsworth pit on 103, Newman pit on 101. So a little bit older tyres, but I mean Newman did show pretty good speed at the end of that last run, even with a slight offset, unless I'm mistaken. No, in fact he had slightly better tyres than Holdsworth last time, so I'm very much mistaken. I think it has to be Holdsworth's race to lose at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. He's done a good job. He got out to the lead and he's controlled it. But it's going to be interesting to see what the cars trend to here. So we obviously know the Nitro cars will be pretty quick, but Brad has made positional gains here through that cycle. Whether he can hold on to the end of the race will be interesting, because it's a full stint. Like, they still got to do another 40 laps. That's a long way to go. It's a full stint of racing, basically.
Now they should all have, these guys that come down under the 2 green flag stops, they would have still one more set in the pits, I believe. Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, so all these guys will still have 2 sets as Bradley Cairns comes in.
Bradley Cairns comes in. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's a good little stint to the end there. Remembering he's got a championship as well. He's racing for a championship.
Exactly. Too, so. He can't be too crazy. He's got to kind of find that balance. I think he's done a good job to try and be different. Yeah.
Absolutely. Whereas Borg, for him, stay out till you run out of fuel.
Yeah, just run it out, exactly. And I mean, if you catch a yellow, that's sort of where my brain was going. These other guys have to pit now. It's been enough laps that if they didn't, then you've got them hook, line, sinker anyway. If you're Borg, so if yellow does come out, I mean, albeit it doesn't look very likely. With there's not really heaps of side-by-side battles. A bit of a gaggle here, but they're all looking pretty well behaved. It has to be said.
Yeah, Marty Mitchell's still out there.
Yep, Marty's going for it. That's for sure. He's got the flames in the car, doesn't he? Love that. Big fan of the flames. But
up in the B line now.
No, that's right.
So yeah, yellows can come from anywhere here. This could be the gaggle that might come from even in behind Borg. He doesn't want to be a part of it. He wants to see the yellow, but he doesn't want to be a part
That's
of it
true.
either.
That's true. He'd happily encourage it, though, I'm sure. Yeah.
This is getting interesting, this little battle here. Because these
So,
guys are battling, but they also got the leader right in front of them too, so they got to be careful.
getting willing, as you would a phrase you would often coin, Dave. Very willing amongst these boys, but
definitely some numbers in there that I know.
That is true, but yeah, I mean, where does the yellow come from is probably the thing, like you were sort of touching on. It's Aaron would love to see it. Does not want to be it though, and all the while.
Calvin Clark on him, I'm not too familiar with Calvin Clark. I haven't seen that grey truck out there.
No,
neither. So I think he might be a first-time starter with us tonight. He's not having his best night. He's 3 laps down at this point, but he's out there running laps, which is good. Always welcome new guys to the field.
Is that another one of Norman's sons, perhaps?
Yeah, baby. Norman, Roger, and Calvin.
Seems legit. But well, it's good to see him out there having a crack. Welcome. How's Newman looking here? He was 2 seconds before we mentioned, and then a few laps later, look at this, already just about 4 seconds off. So the pendulum is definitely swinging in the Holdsworth direction. Holdsworth only 12.5 seconds off catching Borg outright on the track. Borg will, of course, at this point, he's clearly going to run it dry, or probably the other thing he would do, run it dry or run it until you get past for the lead, and then okay, I'll bring it down now. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can bring down audible as well, mate, and throw it on the road, on the track, and let's get ourselves a debris cushion here and rack 'em and stack 'em, and this will get really hotted up.
Well, Sam Smith in the chat did say that he believed he saw some debris on the track, and that there possibly needs a competition yellow, but it certainly would shake things up. I do like personally, I do like the strategy and the different strategies that are unfolding. I feel that we're robbed of some of it because Davis and Kai, I think, could have gone a bit more aggressive on theirs, Major too, but nevertheless, still having a real crack. And now one thing that actually does look pretty exciting about this is Major. So when Borg does pit, you would expect that Major will have himself in a top 5 position, which is a huge run for him. I'm not sure if he has bettered that this season. So that would, I believe, be a best from him. That's an awesome run for a top 5, but he might not be finished with that because potentially he may be able to catch Zachary Sears, who's just ahead of him, currently in the order of around about 4 to 5 tenths per lap off his pace. So Zach, unfortunately, has just been on the tight side through most of the night. Just has not really been living La Vida Loca ever since he had to be off kilter with his stops. It's been behind the 8 ball, but Aaron Major absolutely charging at the moment, and you can see that on the board there. 30.6 his last lap by. That was faster than even Holdsworth. So he's put him up on the dash and he's just going for it.
He has, and to be honest, all these guys are going to make some big gains into Riley Curtis here. So there's going to be a 5-way fight for the last step in the playoff picture here, I think, because Riley's 44 points and Mickelmore's only 4, about 40, and then you got Kute who's 30, so 10 positions up. Yeah, so it's 14. Where's Riley? Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to do some quick maths later on. But
yeah, so Curtis is 18th at the moment. He's been making some gains. He's been making some gains on the track, but whether it's enough, I think, like you said, it's going to be really neck and neck once it's all shaked out. But I think Riley should be able to catch Pammett by the end of this because he's getting him a couple of tenths a lap, and he's only 1.7 off him at the moment. So Curtis should be able to get 17.
Your lap down. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
And as you see, the pit road 43 pulled the trigger on that stop, so now he's going to go do qualifying laps for 18 laps now and just see where he winds up.
Which will be exciting in itself as well. It's who knows where he can shake it out. The one that's really interesting to me is Davis. You see here on the graphic of the stops. Now he was the sort of more later of the stoppers on that first one, pit on 65. You can see Major and Dull pit on 62. But then he only did 38 laps on that next run. He hadn't really reaped the rewards of having the fresher tyres for that second run, and then has cut that advantage, come down pit road, and now he's behind those other boys and not really doing anything any faster than them. So he's kind of he was in that sort of fifth position, before all this, and then he's kind of just gone the wrong side of the strap from that point, I would say. But nevertheless, P7 is a great result, and he's shown awesome speed through the night too, so can be really proud of that. It's only just behind Kude Dal, as I say that too.
Definitely, and as I said before, it's easy to fall into that trap of you've got to drive faster because you feel like you're further behind, you've got the fresher tyres, you've got to make this time up. And very easy to overdrive the car then and just lose that time, whereas in that first stint he was very controlled and measured and reaped the rewards, as you said, but he may have just overdriven it in that second stint possibly.
One drive
you learn from that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. One drive we haven't mentioned for a little bit was Gilbert, currently in the 19th position. He was having a decent run. Yeah, his stop was 54 seconds. That's a pit stop plus a hold. So that would be a speeding penalty that he's incurred there, and has curtailed his run. Yeah, which would be music to the ears of Riley for sure. It looks like Riley should be fine to stay ahead of Gilbert. His pace has been quite strong. Riley has got around Pamet, in fact, who last pit on lap 83. So he's, I guess, trying to run that to the end, but Cameron's pace is really struggling on those very much older tyres. You see the lap times here on your tower. Gives you a good idea of where everyone's at. Some nice times there from Major, Dahl, Davis, really pumping out some good times, high 30s for them. Everyone ahead of them, already well and truly in the 31s, but Holdsworth, the best of the lot, out the front.
We've got Nigel, who's probably looking for the longest pit stop of the year. Just ticked over 57 minutes. There he is, in the box, 57 minutes he's been in there for. So short-lived love, old Nige. He's
opted out.
Yeah, he's opted out. There's no one there. No one's home. The lights are on, but no one's home.
No, exactly. He's gone to go get a glass of milk, I think.
Probably an ice cream and maybe some pizza.
Oh, he loves the pizza. Loves the pizza, does Nige. It's. I wonder how far you reckon the drive is to the local pizza shop for him.
At least 2 hours.
It'd have to be massive. That's surely cold by the time it gets to him.
Unless the wife cooks it up, I suppose.
Yeah, there must be something going on. Because that's very unusual. And there's Cameron's obviously pulled the pin there. Realised that it's just a lot of pain that he's in. Oh,
it's missing the box too.
That's right. He almost ended up in Nigel's pit box. That's just that pain of being on those older tyres, and I think he's want to go out and put in some, like you said, some quality laps and see how he goes. In fact, let's check in with Borg and see how he's going. He's currently 10th. How far off is he? He's just gone straight past. We got a bit of a 2-for-1 special there on Phelps and Dorman, who was pitting, but he's definitely flying, definitely putting in those fast lap times like you mentioned. He's obviously not going to get back to the lead, but where can he get in 10 laps? Where can we predict that he may end up? Let's see. Half second. Yeah. So he's got 7 seconds to catch on Davis. Surely he won't get that, will he? No. Be close.
Might be the end of the run there.
If you can do 6 tenths a lap, it might just about get there. Which was roughly where he was, wasn't it? Like he was in that sort of sixth position thereabouts before he had a crack. So I think you take that. You know, if you're going to finish sort of 5th, 6th, 7th anyway, you might as well have a crack and see what happens.
That's right. And let's be riding on board. But Josh Mickelmore here, you can see the nitro fabrication work up on them nice welds up on the weld of the cage there. But Josh should be thinking, always the bridesmaid, never the bride at this point in time. He's just can't seem to get that top step, but he seems to finish in that podium quite often, though.
Yeah, like I said, he's definitely there or thereabouts, but just has not been able to pass that threshold yet to get onto the victory lane. But there we go. This is okay. So this is what we want to see. So we know Mickelmore is currently sitting P2. He's leapfrogging Riley for sure. Holdsworth is going to advance with the win, so that guarantees the top 2 positions. And that just means then we've got to think about 3rd and 4th. Now, Josh, yeah, like we said, he leapfrogs Riley, and then that puts Riley right in the firing line. Currently 17th, but with Kute, who's going into tonight 14 points behind him, he's currently 11 on-track positions ahead of him. I don't think Kute led a lap, I don't believe. So that would mean that he's going to be sitting around about 3 points behind Riley after it was all said and done. And Griffiths, he had a bit of a exciting evening for a period of time, but then it all fell by the wayside with that drama on pit road. Major, however, in the 5th position at the moment, so 12 on-track positions ahead of Riley, and he went into tonight, 17 points behind Riley, so he'll be around about 5 points off him. And then Bradley Cairns, he is currently in the 11th position. He is going to make up 6 points on Riley. So it's, that sort of 4th through to 6th is very close. 7th is going to be Cairns, just a watching brief behind, but Griffiths is going to be the one who's going to be feeling the pain and should be in that 8th position, I believe, after this is all said and done. It'll be all to play for in that final race. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's going to be a pretty interesting Michigan race. And once again, a win wipes all that out the road. So one of those guys from the back can muster up a win. That changes everything again.
Yeah, indeed. It would, imagine if someone like a Griffiths or a Cairns or, one of these boys that are sort of in that 7th, 8th position after tonight, you'd expect if they were to jump out there and take the win next week, well then, Mickelmore is sort of the 4th place boy on points there, and then everyone else, despite having really solid seasons, really good runs, they're going to be on the outside looking in themselves, so it can really throw things up. It's Holdsworth will be very pleased to get this one taken care of and sealed up in the books. He's just on the march now, really just pumping in the lap times and putting a full stop on this.
Take the old white flag here.
Yeah, about to take the white flag. Major is just behind Cairns, Sears, getting him 2/10 a lap. He's going to come up about half a second short of getting him, I feel. But Dave, I'll let you call the last lap.
Yeah, it's a good race back there, but the number 8, Jason Holdsworth, tonight has had a pretty dominant night, to be honest. Got to the lead and has done well. He won at Texas to get himself into the round of 8, and he's going to win at the Nashville Superspeedway tonight, and he's going to go all the way through to the final race and race for a championship. Number 8 gets the win tonight, Jason Holdsworth.
Great call, Dave. Yes. I believe in the Open you said it was Nashville, in Memphis.
Tennessee.
You might have added somewhere else in there as well, but...
Yeah, there's a few races. We're Australia-wide here, mate. We don't care, mate.
It's somewhere. Look, it's somewhere. It's a racetrack that's somewhere. That's all that matters.
We all cover all races, mate.
That's right. Yeah, we don't discriminate. But Holdsworth absolutely dominates the going tonight. He'll be very pleased with that. He had a big call about his Michigan speed, but he's gone. This is what is going on here. This is more reminiscent to the driving we've come accustomed to from Holdsworth, but
he needs some work on the burnouts.
That's right. Yeah, He's got back in the
grass.
yeah.
Oh, he's
Whoever
got it.
was driving before, he's hopped back in now. But he's going to do it the nice little. Oh, there we go.
Hands at the fence there.
Yeah, a couple of fans right there.
Cool.
Oh, look at him. He's doing some wheel work.
Was it lucky
There we
skirt?
Well, they're not impressed at all. Yeah, minimal smoke. They were not pleased in the slides of that. They were Micklemore fans, I think. That was Trev I saw there. But nevertheless, great run from he's just called a night on the van. You know what? You got to stay in your lane. Sometimes if it's not for you,
tough crowd.
yeah, you just got to take it. But look at that. Got our grid here. We'll get stuck into this one and then do a quick little review before we have a chat to our top finishers. But Jason Holdsworth, we saw him just absolutely dominate this evening, and his Nitro Racing teammate in quite significantly behind in P2. Brad Newman had a solid run, but just that tyre offset obviously changed things up. But P3 for him. Zachary Sears was fast early, but just behind the 8 ball from that point. P4, Aaron major result for him. Love that. But P5 is amazing. Kude Dahl in P6 with Jamie Davis. P7, great run for him as well. Aaron Borg charged back for P8. It's a nice result. And look at it, he actually was not too far off Davis in the end, was he? Only a second and a half. So that's pretty crazy. But from there, we've got Ruben Phelps, pole sitter. That was actually a really good recovery from him, all things told. Remember, he not only was he backwards on lap 1, but he also had that little scuffle. I think that was with Lawford earlier on. But Lawford himself was P10 with Bradley Cairns, P11. David Lawler in P12. Brian Blundell in P13. Brandon Griffiths had all sorts of struggles on pit road. We're kind of robbed of what he could have done. P14 for him, and Brad Wright 15th. Aaron Dorman, solid result for him. I'm sure he'd be pretty pleased with that in 16th with Riley Curtis. Love to get an understanding on what happened there. 17th for him, 2 laps down. And Jared Gilbert in the 18th position, also 2 laps down. If you want to finish off things here, Dave, from Marty on.
Yeah, from Marty on, we've got Calvin Clark, Grocott, Hamat, Okwijo, Seedle, and Pritchard. It's not even.
Yeah, so Pritchard, interesting. I think he's on that starting park, so obviously just trying to get the prize money, keep that sort of situation afloat. Can't afford to go out and waste your tyres in that sort of scenario, but nevertheless, we've jogged down. Oh, we've got some ads first. You know what? We'll get ourselves sorted. We'll have a breath, and then we'll come back. So just sit tight for a moment here, boys.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've witnessed a Jason Holdsworth masterclass, but we've been blessed with the presence of our top three. I'm currently just getting a hold. He's taking off his balaclava and helmet and whatnot, just obviously after a tough night of racing. Brad Newman, P3 for you tonight. It looked like you had flashes of speed, but just obviously the lack of a yellow to reset things perhaps and get you on equal tyres and equal footing, perhaps put you behind the 8 ball a little bit. But tell us about your night.
G'day, boys. Yeah, pretty straightforward one. Long green flag race. At the end of the day, Jason was just too quick. Wouldn't have mattered what I did. I wasn't going to catch or pass Jason. So even if I had done a huge undercut, he would have just come straight past me. So wasn't much I could have done.
Yeah, we were throwing the different strategy options and what could and couldn't happen. We did expect that perhaps you might be one of the ones to roll the dice earlier. I think it was 101 or thereabouts where you did end up coming down pit road for that final stop. Did you consider doing it earlier? Or did you think that was the right time to do it? Now with the benefit of hindsight, or like you said, it just didn't really matter so long as he just covered you off. It was always going to be the same.
Yeah, I thought he had enough of a gap in front of me where whenever I pitted, he could just pit a lap or two later. But so I just ended up splitting the last two stints up pretty evenly. Like I said, I don't think there's any option I could have taken where I would have had anything for Jason tonight.
Yeah, good call. A couple of questions for you as well. We got one from the chat and one that popped up during the race as well. But there's a graphic. You're wearing a DuPont Jeff Gordon sort of shirt or race suit. We don't have the graphic up at the moment. Not sure if that's a supplied picture from you, I believe. Is that a genuine picture, or is that some AI tomfoolery? What, any backstory behind that image?
No, the race suit I'm reeling in that photo, that's been photoshopped over it by someone. That's not a real suit, that one.
Not a real suit. Okay. Yeah, we were told to reference your Wikipedia page on that one, but we'll have to perhaps go back to the drawing board. But there we go. We got it up on the screen. Yeah, no name on there. We can see at least that's Mr. Newman in all his glory. So that's beautiful. Now in the chat, we also had some of the punters that they wanted to know, what does LOBS stand for?
Oh no, it doesn't actually stand for anything. It's just a word in itself, so it's not an acronym. So sorry to disappoint anyone who was trying to figure that out.
That is really disappointing, but nevertheless, I guess we could just make up our own. I had a crack at
whatever you reckon. Whatever you reckon is what it can be.
Love that. Awesome. Well, I'll throw it to you for your obligatories.
Just you guys as always for putting the event on, and the guys at Lobs Esports. Thank you.
Too easy. Thank you, Brad. Another solid drive. Of course, he's advanced already to the Final Four. Didn't need anything major tonight, but he'll be very happy with that. And speaking of major, actually, we are blessed with, I believe, Dave, you've got a hold of Aaron Major, who had a great run tonight for a really solid P5 finish. We spoke about his progress throughout the night, and he really made a charge, and you've got a hold of him.
Yeah, we've got Aaron Major down here, and Aaron, we just wanted to have a quick chat, mate, just because of you had a good result. Talk us through your race tonight, mate.
Well, first time at the track ever, and I just think a lot of the team had a lot of coaching throughout the race, telling me what to do, really. So I was just following their instructions as best as I could, and somehow found myself with good tyre life, late stint, than a lot of other people. So
no, definitely
that's my advantage, and just praying no safety cars.
Yeah, well, it definitely worked for you. Obviously, having the team around you. Who was up in the box, mate, for you? Who was giving you coaching tips tonight?
I had Scott Rankin, Trent Lavelle, and Aaron Dorman all talking to me through the race.
Well,
giving me little tips and tricks on what to do.
Yeah, definitely. That's some handy guys up there as well. Scotty Rankin, we know he's got the ins and outs of these cars, and so that's handy to have on your team, have on your side. How'd you go with your strategy? Were they sort of putting you in a strategy there? Did you make their calls, or I suppose how did you sort of look after the tyres? Were you just under driving it and just sticking to your marks, hitting your marks, sticking to a lap time? or you were just out there driving and
Yeah,
doing what
pretty
they
much
said?
under driving it the first couple of laps, like 10, 15 laps. Just trying to ease the tyres up. Because the setup I had or were given was very loose at the start of the stint. So I didn't want to burn the rears up on exit. And
Yeah.
I was going to go long for a second time, but I got told that's a bad call. So I got told on the lap that I came in for the second time to come in on the back straight. I better pit now. So
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And as you said, you weren't sort of looking for a yellow. It definitely would have spiced things up, but nevertheless, a great run tonight, and that's going to do your championship a lot of favours. So it's all going to be very tight in the next race. So obviously, while we got you here, give you guys a shout out, your team and sponsors, and the guys that help you get there, mate.
yeah, I'd like to thank my team, AWR. Great bunch of guys. Thank Dorman. Always use the NASCAR side of things. Getting me into doing a bit of racing with him. Thank a few of our sponsors, Racecraft, Jetski Peninsula, and D3 Laser Designs for all the support they give the team throughout the year. Yeah, I think that checks everyone
Beautiful.
off.
Well, yeah, that definitely. Well, congratulations on P5, and as I said, that I'm looking forward to seeing the playoff picture because it's just going to shake things up when Jason posts it. But well done tonight, and hopefully we'll see you back out here next week and going for the win, mate.
Thank you very much.
There you have it,
Awesome.
Aaron Major. We like to reward when they have a good race. Guys like that have put the time and effort in, and the results are showing. So let's as I said, credit where it's due.
Yeah, that's awesome, and obviously, I'm sure he'll get many more opportunities to improve on his post race interviews and whatnot. But seemed like he was just a bit awestruck in his own performance there. But certainly a lot to be really
Got to
proud
lose on
of.
the win one, mate. You know what they say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, he can be. I think by the sounds of things, he's got to start giving advice to his teammates. He's just blazing a trail there. But like you said, a lot of really strong performers amongst that group. Rankin, Dorman, etc. So, and I believe also the smoothest voice in all of Australian sim racing is one of his teammates. So, Trent Lavelle. So, yeah, exactly. That'll help. You'd love him on the box, that's for sure. But anywho. We've got Josh Mickelmore here with us now, of course. Dave, I'll let you take the look. This is obviously a teammate of yours. He had a really solid run and a really great result with P2.
Yeah, we've got a back-to-back here, and Josh, mate. I can say this because we're in the same team, but mate, once again, always the bridesmaid, mate, never the bride. When are you going to knock this one off and get to the top step, mate?
Oh, when we get the last one, hopefully.
Yeah, that's true. Save the best to last, as they say. But talk us through your race, mate, because in that early stint, you sort of sat back and saved a lot of your tyres. And for us, it felt like you were probably the faster car towards the end of that stint, coming back at those leaders. Obviously, just looking after your stuff, and then just talk us through the rest of the race as well.
Yeah, I was similar pace to Jason. On that first run, but I think the difference was the strategy. Jason definitely had the edge as well, but it's definitely the strategy that he took was a bit better. I was a bit of like 2 or 3 laps after he did in that first one, and then we were just behind the 8 ball after that. But yeah, no, he had a quick truck. Pretty happy with second, obviously, but it's not a win. But yeah, no, banked some good points for the playoffs. So that's what matters.
Yeah, definitely, and I can see the playoff picture there. So you've gone ahead up into the third position now with 75, and Riley's actually dropped down. But yeah, talk us through the strategy. Did you guys discuss it as a team, what you were doing, or did you sort of just stick to your own plan there throughout that race?
Yeah, completely stuck to our own plan. I was sort of I was battling with Newman most of the race, so I was sort of watching him what he was doing as well and trying to keep ahead of him. So, yeah, no, that's all really.
No, fair enough. Well, as I said, I had a fast truck. Like I said, probably not quite the pace to win it, but not far off it either. So there's not much in it at all. So, I don't think that win's too far away.
Yeah.
I reckon you get that duck off your back, and as you said, save the best for last. But while you're here, so thank you, sponsors and teams, mate.
Yeah, it's the JT and the boys. We'll work they've done on the car this week. Another killer job. Another really fast car. And you guys for putting on the broadcast. Yeah.
Josh,
You good?
just
Oh,
to
hang
jump
on.
in, just to jump in a little bit, there were some comments in the chat tonight. A gentleman you might know by the name of Trevor said 31 first of the losers again. So got to.
Well, at least I'm first and something tonight.
Oh, that's it, mate. Trev never misses, mate. That's all I know. Trev never misses.
That's it.
But yeah, the championship race is the one that really matters, and obviously, I would imagine you feel pretty confident for Iowa at this stage. Have you done any laps yet?
For Iowa,
Yeah.
we were there a little while ago, but I haven't done anything recently yet. No, not yet.
Oh, fingers crossed. That's the one. That's the one we want to be ready for, Josh. But great run tonight, mate.
Yeah, once we get a bit closer, we'll be definitely doing a bit more on that.
Yeah, still got Michigan, of course, to get through, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be fine. Awesome. Great run
Josh,
again.
Appreciate you coming up, and yeah, we'll see you next week, mate.
No worries. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
That was your second place finisher, Josh Mickelmore, consistently knocking out the good results. No matter what series it's in, he's always up there. But
Now, we touched on Michigan just a second ago. Here is
That's
Mr.
true.
Michigan now.
yeah, now Holdsworth, Jason,
Mr.
you
Mr.
had
Nashville.
obviously a brilliant run tonight, but the word on the street was that Michigan was going to be the race that was a guaranteed victory. It looks like you jumped the gun a little bit early.
No, that is not the case. I said Michigan is one of my favorite tracks. I believe you said to me after the race last week that I don't think so. I'll be able to beat you while driving and commentating.
Yeah, there's a rumor of that as well, mate. We've got that rumor.
so actually, now that we've been recorded, can you restate what you said last Thursday?
No, I from my understanding, from where I was sitting,
So you're backing out.
you offered a guaranteed win, but nevertheless, I'm ready to. We're going to do a commentary from the driver's seat next week, Dave and I, and I'm confident we can rip out a 1-2.
Oh, is that what Dave wants to do, or are you just trying to rope him in?
No, he's on board.
Okay. All right.
I've got big mirrors.
Yeah, we wouldn't mind to get amongst it and really just take that automatic transfer spot away, I suppose, as well. Maybe we don't want to do that because there could be some real implications if we can have someone like a Griffiths or a Cairns or someone get up there and take the win. But anywho, we need to focus on you at this moment, Jason, as much as it pains me, because you had a great run. It looked like you were just biding your time early, and then you moved your way past Mickelmore, and then from there you just marched away. You had from what I recall, a second and a half, 2 second leads, all that in no time, and then once the pit stop strategy started to come into play, it seemed like it just went from strength to strength for you.
Yeah, I just that little inner dance in my head saying, "Look after your tires." Don't burn them up. Obviously, Zach had a pretty like a 2.5 second lead, I believe, somewhere around there.
Yep.
But obviously he went for it. I just kept my head, the little inner dance and telling me, look after your tires, you'll get him on the long run, which is what happened. Didn't burn him up. Slightly tired, especially towards the end of the run, but on the second one, I nailed the adjustment. And I was looking at the times, even though I think Josh and Brad had fresher tires than me.
At the end?
And I was doing at the end of the second stint. And I actually had faster lap times. Yeah. So I nailed the adjustment. The third stint, I was in cruise control. So I wasn't even looking at times for that.
No, you're 100% right. That second stint, it caught me off guard because I had thought that they had the fresher tires, but it was the other way around, or whatever the scenario was. It was advantage Holdsworth, that's for sure. So no, it was a amazing drive. Probably it would have to be one of, if not your best, that I've certainly witnessed. and with some super solid competition, of course, as well. You've got your teammate there behind you in second, like you said as well. Your other teammate that raced off to an early lead, but you were able to keep your cool and bring it long run. Obviously, the what's most important here is you had a solid footing with the points, but this guarantees your transfer into the final four. That has to be a bit of a load off your shoulders as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it just means next week I can have a bit of fun. No stress. Obviously, I'm there in 2 weeks' time at Iowa. Michigan's a very good track, so it'll be a lot of fun next week. I'd say Brad will have the same thoughts as well. He'll be backfiring. He wasn't too happy being beaten this week, but I had to stop that 3 in a row, or him getting 4 in a row.
Would have been 4, yeah, exactly. That would have been probably a new record.
Embarrassing for me. What did you get last year? Did you get 3 in a row? Did you get to 4?
I've never got to 4. No, there's no way.
Yeah.
It's yeah. But one day, you never know. But nevertheless, so obviously we've got our 2 drivers confirmed, yourself and Brad, through to Iowa. The question is, do you start now practicing for some Iowa? Do you even bother with practicing Michigan, given that it's a good track for you? That's nice, but do you start your practice for Iowa to be on the front foot?
Well, I'm okay at Iowa. Do you remember our conversation 3 or 4 months ago? We were comparing times and how you were flowing the long run.
I remember winning. That's all I remember winning.
Oh yeah, that's one of those I backed it in results. But typical dancing style. No, look. If anyone, I don't know exactly what's going to happen with Iowa because it's week 13 and Iowa's getting an update.
Yeah.
So
that could change things. Yeah. It'll change the line.
I don't know what's going to happen. So,
makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Oh yeah. Well, it might have to be cramming some, practice laps on the new track. So, just don't know. Obviously, Brad's going to be the favourite if you look at his dominance on short tracks this year. But I'm going to give it a go. I do like Iowa.
I mean, it's all to play for. Anything can happen. It's we saw here, obviously, long green run, but you could have the same at Iowa, and then you get hit with a yellow at an inopportune time, or anything can happen in these sorts of races, as we all know. So, it'll all be to play for. And no one's a guaranteed winner at this point in time, that's for sure. But Jason, like I said, great run tonight. Obviously, it's your chance now to get through your obligatories for all of your teammates and people to help you get it done.
100%. Thank you to you guys in the booth. I'm looking forward to listening to the call. The Nitro team, as always, thanks for their support. And JT, our builder for the trucks. He's been on fire recently. If you need a setup for Nashville, even if you need a setup for Michigan next week, go to nitro-racing.com and pick up the setup. I think I was on just the 1.0. Whatever that was. There's a few different updates around, but I was just on the main one.
Yeah, definitely looked very solid, that's for sure. Jason, a career night for you as far as from a driving perspective. Well done, and we look forward to seeing you next time out at Michigan. And thank you.
Thank you. See you then.
See ya. Well, there we go. Jason Holdsworth very happy with himself for and so he should be. Really solid drive. We can't stress that enough. I feel 75 laps led. Blitzed it. Obviously, average lap time was considerably faster than the rest of the field. Really did a number on them tonight. And even as Brad said, our P3 finisher, he felt like it didn't really matter what else would have changed with strategy. It probably didn't have anything for Jason anyway, and that's how it looked really. I think his pace on any type of run looked extreme. So that was really impressive. Dave, final thoughts? I'll let you handle the final leg here.
Yeah, it was a good race, and good to see some of those guys putting their best foot forward, and it's going to make it very interesting next week. So make sure you tune in because we'll be same place, same time, tune in, like, subscribe, but be sure to get amongst it. And shout out to Dean for the camera work and Matthew for joining me tonight. And but that's it from us tonight. And we appreciate you guys viewing in and getting into the chat. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.